This is Julian Brown, and what he just invented could change the world as we know it. You see, Julian took a massive problem that we have in the world today of plastic waste, and he turned it into a viable fuel that could actually run our vehicles, like this Dodge Charger. And to prove that his Plastiline actually works, he made sure to show that the vehicle was completely empty of gas, and when he tried to turn it on, sure enough, the Charger would not run. But after fueling it up with his Plastiline, he hit the start button, and to the crowd's amazement, it went roar. Proving that his invention is an absolute game changer, because now we can take a massive world problem of plastic waste and we can use it for our combustion engines. Now, pyrolysis, which is the method of changing plastic into gasoline or diesel, is not something new. It's been around for a couple of decades. However, what he was able to do
with a bunch of scraps
is invent a new way of actually making Plastiline, which is much more cost effective and viable on a larger scale. What he did was create the world's first solar continuous microwave pyrolysis reactor, which makes it so much cheaper to turn waste plastic into viable diesel, thus making this process something that could be done on a larger scale and getting rid of our waste plastic and turning it into something that is actually valuable. But maybe you just say, well, he's only taking one problem and creating another, which is greenhouse gases. You would be correct, but after having a third party test his Plastiline, they showed that his version of it was actually cleaner than your common diesel fuel that you buy at the pump.
I thought it was surprisingly well distilled. I thought it was surprisingly clean as well for plastic, and it blew my mind that plastic could be redistilled into diesel,
thus helping to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases going into the air. Because at the moment, having cars that run purely on batteries, which has its own host of environmental problems, is not an actual solution at this time. The amount of energy that the world would have to create to turn hundreds of millions of cars into electric vehicles would just create just as much greenhouse problems as we do with our fuels currently. So creating a new fossil fuel that runs cleaner than the current version we have is a step in the right direction. Plus, we get rid of all of the toxic plastics that is filling up our oceans and our groundwater from putting it in the dump. I don't know about you, but I think that this young man should absolutely earn a Nobel Scientific Prize because what he did is absolutely revolutionary. So kudos to Julian Brown, and thank you for being a patriot to the entire planet. Make sure to follow us for more, especially our Substack, where we can go into deeper details on wonderful stories just like this and keep you informed of what's going on around you. The link is in the bio.